Michael Carter had spent years working as a janitor in one of the largest corporate towers in the city. Every morning before sunrise, he quietly cleaned polished floors, emptied trash bins, and wiped fingerprints from the glass walls while hundreds of successful employees rushed past without even noticing him. Few people knew that after finishing his night shift, he rushed home to care for his 8-year-old daughter Lily, who had been the center of his life ever since his wife passed away from a serious illness. Money was always short, but Michael never allowed his daughter to feel poor. He told her every evening that kindness and honesty were worth more than a bank account full of money. One rainy Monday morning, while cleaning the executive floor, Michael accidentally bumped into the desk of the company's powerful CEO. His cleaning bucket tipped over and water splashed directly onto her expensive laptop. His heart stopped. Employees nearby gasped as the screen suddenly flickered. Everyone expected the CEO to explode with anger. Michael immediately apologized and reached for a towel, believing he had just lost the only job keeping food on his daughter's table. But as the CEO quickly opened the laptop to check the damage, something unexpected appeared on the screen before it shut down completely. It was a large folder filled with photographs of Michael and Lily. The CEO froze. Her face changed from anger to complete shock. Michael stared at the screen, confused and frightened, because he had never met the woman outside of work and had no idea why pictures of his family were stored on her computer. Silence filled the office until the CEO quietly asked everyone else to leave the room. Once they were alone, she looked at Michael with tears beginning to form in her eyes and whispered, "I have been searching for you for years." Michael could barely understand what he was hearing. The CEO explained that years earlier she had secretly created a charitable foundation after losing someone very important in her own life. Instead of simply donating money, she personally investigated hardworking single parents who never asked for help. Michael's name had been recommended by several people in the neighborhood. Teachers described how he volunteered to repair broken desks at Lily's school without charging a single dollar. A local grocery owner said Michael often carried heavy bags for elderly customers before starting his exhausting night shift. Even the apartment manager had written that Michael always paid rent late but never complained and still helped neighbors fix leaking pipes or broken lights. The CEO had quietly followed his story because she wanted to surprise him with a life-changing opportunity when the time was right. The photos on her laptop were part of a confidential file documenting his acts of kindness. Michael stood speechless. He had never imagined that simple acts of helping others could matter to someone so powerful. The CEO smiled gently and said she had planned to reveal everything during the company's annual charity event, but fate had chosen a different moment. She then asked Michael a question that completely changed his future. If you had the chance to build a better life for your daughter, would you accept help even if it meant believing that miracles still happen? Michael's eyes filled with tears as he nodded. The CEO reached into her desk and handed him a folder that contained a full scholarship for Lily at one of the city's best private schools, complete medical insurance, and an offer for Michael to become the facility's operations manager instead of remaining a janitor. His salary would nearly triple, and he would receive training for the new position. Michael looked at the papers over and over because they seemed impossible to believe. He asked why someone like him deserved such generosity. The CEO answered with words he would never forget. Success is easy to celebrate. Character is much harder to find. I don't invest in resumes. I invest in people. Weeks later, Michael began his new role. Instead of pushing a cleaning cart through silent hallways, he managed an entire maintenance team. The same employees who had once ignored him now greeted him with respect, not because of his new title, but because they had finally learned who he truly was. Lily flourished in her new school and proudly told her classmates that her father had always been a hero long before anyone else noticed. Years passed, and Michael never forgot where he came from. Every Christmas he personally organized gift drives for struggling families, remembering the days when even buying a simple toy had been difficult. The CEO often attended those events quietly without seeking attention, smiling as she watched the kindness she had rewarded continue spreading through countless other lives. One evening, Lily asked her father whether spilling water on that laptop had been the worst mistake of his life. Michael smiled, looked at the stars, and replied, "Sometimes what feels like the biggest disaster is simply life opening a door you never knew existed." From that day forward, he taught everyone around him that respect should never depend on a person's job title, because behind every uniform is a story that deserves to be heard, and behind every act of kindness may be an opportunity waiting to change someone's life forever.